Good evening. Today is Monday, 7th of November 2022. The time is 8 p.m. in Canberra. We will begin the weekly Bangla radio program from Canberra 2XX Community Radio Station. This program is being broadcasted by the courtesy of Community Broadcasting Foundation Limited and Bangladesh Australia Association in Canberra. Every Monday at 8 p.m. the program is broadcasted on FM 98.3 MHz. Tonight the program is presented by me, Admin Zahid,
and me, Ajiba Ahmed.
In tonight's program we'll be talking about Halloween and its history. This was last week.
Yeah, so the origins and history of Halloween. The current English name Halloween traces back to medieval Christianity. The word hallow is derived from the Middle and Old English words for holy. As a noun, it can also mean saint. In those days, the Christian holiday we know as All Saints' Day was called All Hallows' Day, and the day before, when an evening mass was held, was All Hallows' Eve. That three-word name eventually was shortened to Halloween. The history of Halloween dates back to a pagan festival called Samhain. The ancient Gaelic festival of Samhain occurred on November the 1st, but it first kicked off the evening before, and this was considered the earliest known root of some of our secular Halloween traditions, and hence this is why Halloween is celebrated on the 31st of October. Hundreds of years ago, people dressed up as saints and went door to door, which is also the origin of the Halloween trick-or-treating experience. It marks a pivotal time of the year when seasons changed, but more importantly, observers also believed that at this time the boundary between this world and the next became especially thin, enabling them to connect with the dead. This is also where Halloween gains its haunted connotation. So, I mean, what about the pumpkins?
I don't know, I always wondered what's with the pumpkins, like why pumpkins, and I always thought it was an American thing, because Americans are very big on like fall and like pumpkin spice lattes and like pumpkin pie and like, you know, they just love their pumpkins. But actually,
very Pinterest idea, the pumpkin spice lattes and all that.
yeah, that's all you hear about, right? But apparently, like the pumpkins themselves, although the pumpkins themselves come from America, the tradition of carving them into somewhat scary figures actually comes from England, Ireland, Scotland kind of area. So, and traditionally it was in fact turnips that were harvested around this time of year in the UK, Ireland and Scotland. And so there's a lot of them around that autumn time. And they were basically actually part of, ancestrally speaking, they were part of the winter diet. And were actually quite a popular vegetable because of their much needed nourishment and vitamins that they were filled with. And so basically preparations for Halloween in the past actually involved carving some ghastly faces into turnips and to make them resemble demons and devils and goblins, and then candles were also then put in to the hollowed out turnips to like illuminate them. And I've popped into a photo and they actually look very scary. You should definitely Google carved out turnips because they're actually a lot scarier looking than a carved out pumpkin. And the idea was that these glowing carved faces were reminders of death and were also used to scare people. And the turnips were kind of like, because they were more of a prank, they were actually called punkies or jack-o'-lanterns, and were named after kind of like, you know, ghostly lights rumored to be seen around the area, and kind of a bit of like a mythical kind of creatures as well. So they're used kind of as a scare tactic, and were also believed to be spirits of the dead.
Yeah, especially because in the UK they have more of the marshes and bogs, which is not so prevalent in Australia and America, so those spirits would sort of dance in the lights above those areas, and that's what the shining turnips reminded people of, to ward off the enemies or the nasty neighbours kind of thing.
Interesting. Yeah. So then what happened was in the not 1980s, the 1800s, a lot of people left England and Ireland to go live in America, and they took that Halloween tradition of carving turnips with them, but instead of carving turnips, they made the Halloween lanterns out of pumpkins because there are a lot of pumpkins in America in autumn, and they're actually softer and much more easier to carve than hard old turnips. So, and they're also tastier than turnips, because you can make pumpkins into things like pies and soups and pumpkin spice lattes, whereas with turnips, you probably wouldn't want to put in your coffee.
Calling it now. We should start a turnip spice latte in Australia.
Oh, I don't know how much that would pick up. I don't even remember the last time I've eaten a turnip.
I think I've eaten one.
I don't even know what they taste like.
Is there a Bengali equivalent? You know what turnip is in Bangla?
No.
I've only eaten Bangla vegetables. It's like, and then I know what something is in Bangla, and then I'll ask what it is in English, and I'll be like, yes, I did eat that.
Wait, is it available in Bangladesh, turnips? I've actually
is a turnip in Bangla. Turnip in Bengali.
Pumpkins definitely.
Alagama.
I've definitely seen pumpkins in Bangladesh, like it's kumra, like mishi kumra and stuff, and like eat kumra a lot. But I don't know about turnips. So that's an interesting kind of history there for you around the carved pumpkins that we see. And I know that like when you go to Coles and Woolies, like you never really see like big pumpkins, like you see them cut in half and whatnot, like or quarters or like I don't know fifths because pumpkins are so big. But it's only around Halloween time that you'll see like a big, like almost like a crate full of like massive pumpkins because of Halloween. So you know.
Throws me because I feel like, because those are the Kent pumpkins I feel like you're talking about, which are grey on the outside. And like the fact that all of the Halloween decor that's American influence are always like orange pumpkins. So I feel like all of the pumpkins that I like, here in Canberra, it's always like the Kent grey ones. And then when these orange ones come out during Halloween time, I'm like, did they bring this straight from America?
Or did they color, like, did they put like some kind of dye in the pumpkin? I actually don't know. That's a really good question. Do they import pumpkins from America specifically around Halloween time, like because of the tradition of carving pumpkins?
I believe it.
Yeah, I've had orange pumpkins. Like, is it butternut?
Oh, that's it.
Butternut pumpkin.
But they're so much more vertical, though.
They are. They're definitely more vertical.
I prefer eating a butternut than a can. Personally.
I just like any pumpkin that you can taste pumpkin soup, which I think is like all pumpkins. But I don't know if these pumpkins that people use during Halloween taste very good. I've never actually tasted them, but they're purely purchased for the purposes of decor, from my understanding.
Speaking of like the connection, which I'm only learning today that it was turnips that the UK carved. But I'd always kind of wondered because if I connect sort of Harry Potter to this, like the fact that they would drink pumpkin juice, like rather than orange juice.
Pumpkin juice.
Yeah, juice.
What is pumpkin juice?
No, juice, pumpkin juice, like pumpkin in a juice. So
pumpkin juice. Oh. Okay.
But I'd always be like, that's such an odd drink.
Interesting.
Rather than orange juice or apple juice, it'd be pumpkin juice, And I always kind of thought, is it because we also celebrate Halloween in that culture? I know it's a fictional culture.
In Harry Potter.
Yeah, but of course, like, J.K.
Yeah, maybe.
British, so I thought there was always sort of that British connection with pumpkins, but now to learn it's actually an American thing, so that's actually very interesting. Speaking of sort of, I guess, your connection with Halloween, do you have any sort of Canberra experiences, or what are your thoughts and experiences with Halloween?
My thoughts and experiences basically, I never really, trick-or-treating is probably one of the big ones, even though I never really went trick-or-treating myself, or with my friends, or my family, or my sisters. I always do recall, young kids and children coming around at Halloween time. Like, you'd look out the window and you'd see kids coming in to the house to trick or treat. So I definitely remember that. And my mum, like, we never, like, I don't know, we never, like, had a lot of stock of chocolate to give. Like, if we did, we gave it. But I also remember, like, my mum giving kids, like, chip packets and stuff, like, whatever she had in the house at that time. So, like, because she didn't, like, I don't know, like, we didn't plan it to be, like, Halloween, so we'd have chocolate in the house. But whatever we had in the house, she would give. And I also have, like, this vivid memory of her giving us kids an apple. Because we had apples, and then I was like, Mum, you can't give kids an apple on Halloween. They will literally throw it. And oh, it was so sad. But yeah, I do remember, like, kids coming around this time of year, really young kids, kids that I didn't even know existed in the neighborhood, to be honest, but they'd all kind of come out around this time of year, dress up, and yeah, very cutely kind of, go trick or treat and, you know, get a treat or an apple in that case. I, myself, this year, I do like to make, the most of the discounted chocolate that's available at Coles and Woolies. The fun size packs are always half price around this time of year, so I did grab myself a fun size pack of Kit Kats, not to give away, but for me to have myself.
Yeah, your own trick or treat.
Yeah, exactly, my own trick or treat. I might have one tonight actually. But yes, to make the most of the discounted chocolate at this time of year as a tradition. Almost similar to Easter as well. Like, I always buy some Easter chocolate, even though I don't celebrate Easter. But something about chocolate around occasion times just make it taste better.
Mm.
In terms of, like, another tradition, like, I have a friend that actually hosts a Halloween party every year, and has done so for, like, I don't know, like 5 years now, minus COVID years. But she kind of goes all out. Like, she does the decorations in the house. Like, everyone dresses up. She dresses up. She does, like, weird, like, Halloween eyeball jelly snacks and stuff. Like,
stuff.
yeah, like Halloween themed, like, food and drinks and stuff. And, like, yeah, she does it all. Like Halloween games. So it's always, fun, and it's just, like, something a bit different. So I would say it's a bit of a tradition. Like, she's now known for it because she's done it every year. And I think for the last 2 years she hasn't been able to, of course, because of COVID, but now that COVID's kind of ramped down a little bit, and become a bit more normal, so I think, like, people are expecting it as well. So it's like, that's definitely a tradition that I've quite enjoyed, and I think, is worthwhile from, like, a social angle. And it's something that I look forward to attending just because it's something a little bit different. It's a way of having fun. It's a way of gathering, you know, like, it's just something different to add to your social calendar, and it only comes around once a year. And it's just, yeah, just a fun occasion. So I actually quite like that tradition of, like, you know, just having a bit of a Halloween themed party or, get together. Or I know, like, my, neighbors did one this year. And they, like, warned us that, like, yeah, we'll be doing a Halloween kind of event. It might be a bit loud and stuff, but, like, and they did up their whole house, and, like, around their house you could see it all. So yeah, I think that a Halloween party is a good tradition. Working kind of in the beauty industry, I've seen people come in for, Halloween makeup and costumes, this time of year a lot, and, pretty fun. Like, people will kind of go for the funky colors or the funky makeup, and you'll see a lot of things actually sell out. Like, black lipstick will always sell out at this time of year. Like, and unanimously will always sell out. So that's the connotation that I've always had with Halloween. What about yourself? That's kind of like my experiences and thoughts on Halloween in terms of traditions. What about yourself?
Yeah, I have a lot of memories of people. Like, I've never gone trick or treating myself, but I have memories of people coming and knocking on the doors, and my parents going like, "Wait, what is this?"
And giving them apples.
And then being like, sorry, we actually don't have anything, but then, like, went quickly and started buying chocolates just in case. It was really cute because it's not that, you know, they were taking note of it every year, but then if they notice, like, oh, suddenly the chocolates are on sale, oh, look, it's the Halloween decoration, that means Halloween's coming, we might get some visitors, so then Dad would, it was so cute, but then Dad actually, especially in Perth, so I think because we lived more in a flat area where we would get a lot more kids in Perth to visit our house, whereas
okay.
Like, Yeah, whereas with like the hilly area where we currently are, it's a little bit harder for kids to make it all the way out. It always shocks me when like someone knock on the door and I'd be like, how'd they make it up the hill? So like in Perth, I think there's a lot more of that influence. I think because we lived in more of a not rural, but more of like a township sort of, rather than like what is Perth City. We lived in Rockingham. So a bit more of the sort of family vibe kind of, more of a sort of vibe thing. So my dad actually went out of his way of buying a lot of chocolates while we lived in Rockingham. And it was really cute. He would be happily like handing it out to the kids. Even though we've never trick-or-treated a day in our life. Yeah, and then I think, I've been to a Halloween party and that was really fun. I actually wanted to host one myself, but also
I think it's so fun to host one because you could like cook like, I don't know, like just things that you wouldn't normally cook as well.
And
So it's a bit of like kitchen experiment.
Yeah, especially you would like it a lot because you have like that cooking touch as well. Like you make such great desserts and cook so well in general. And that the creative spark in you, I think you enjoy. And like that's actually something I totally would want to do in the future at some point. Like definitely host one. On the bucket list to have.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I better be on the invite list. Cause,
no, definitely. But like in saying that, like I was actually going to ask you, like, because obviously you'd be dressing up for it. So like, what is your sort of, top 3 dress up things that you'd be keen?
I'm a bit lazy, so I definitely don't go all out. Like my Halloween outfits that I've done in the past have always been like easy, effortless, like things that I've already have, or like things that are like easy to get, or things that are like just like easy to do. Like, so I think, not last year, sorry, I think it feels like last year. Maybe like 1 or 2 years ago, I did a vampire because I had this cape dress.
Ooh.
So that was really easy to do, and I just had to do like dark red lipstick, and then like just like carry the lipstick down a little bit to look like blood. And then like wear like some contact lenses, make my face like really light with like powder to make me look like a vampire. So I did a vampire, so that's always really easy to do. I've got like a set of cat ears, so cat makeup is always really easy to do, and you just have to wear like kind of like all black, or you can just get like a little cat set, like that's like ears and like a tail, like really easily, like at like a $2 shop. So I've done a cat, and you just like, put a black nose on with like whiskers and like some freckles with like eyeliner or something. So it's always really easy to do if you like have to like figure something out last minute. I had a customer come in actually recently, this Halloween, and it was a male, and he was actually dressing up as Kylie Jenner. And showed me a photo of Kylie Jenner. Like I think it was at one of the Met Galas with like a purple wig on or something. So I think increasingly, if we talk about Halloween today, like people take their outfits very seriously, like very, very seriously, and go all out. Like they like specifically order it from eBay and like order wigs and like a specific color, or like you can actually find like outfits of people, like I don't know, like Lady Gaga and the meat dress, for example.
Oh my God.
And like people will actually like wear that for Halloween. So people are definitely up the ante and don't go with the simple options like a cat or vampire anymore. But I would still pick something simple and easy and something that I probably already have in the wardrobe.
Yeah. When I was driving down the Tuggeranong Pathway / Drakeford Drive, I saw a lot of advertising for something called Dugong, which was Halloween in Dugong.
Oh yeah.
So apparently last Saturday, they at the Dugong Rockley Oval. So Dugong is actually New South Wales, but I guess we kind of adopted as one of our suburbs in Canberra. And it was really cool because it was like a free event, and they did things like they had like a circus cabaret, they had these aerial divas, axe and knife jugglers, stilt walkers, so they had like a little fake graveyard with headstones and a kissing booth, and so you could like go and dress up and walk on the catwalk and win prizes. There was food vendors and a junior disco. So as a family event, you could go and just like eat there or have a picnic and, you know, free events. So it's really cool, like when there's a lot of community opportunities to just do stuff with family as well. I feel like if I knew about it in advance, I think I only noticed it sort of on the day actually. I might have like said to my family and been like, oh, you know, I think because I've got younger nieces who would love any excuse to dress up, they would definitely do it.
Yeah.
He definitely would.
Yeah, I think it's always a fun one for the kids as well, like doing something for Halloween. So I think families nowadays are just getting a bit more involved because it's something different for kids as well. And like kids have always, I don't know, I think kids see it on TV and stuff these days. I feel like they know more about it. They're not
American influence in a lot of the TV shows that we have. I feel like, especially us growing up for our generation, with a lot of that American TV, like it was always just one of those cookie cutter holidays, that, you know, just another one on the checkbox. So we'd always like know, like it wasn't necessarily that Australia itself had a connection to Halloween, but like Halloween was always just one of those holidays that you know, it's just part and parcel of the list of holidays that we know is on, but it's not necessarily that it was coming from an Australian perspective, but more from that American perspective. That's how I felt, of course. Don't know if you share that thought.
Yeah, I think so. And I think like today, if we talk about like maybe a little bit like going forward, like what Halloween's going to look like and whatnot, it's like, it's definitely going to continue to be like a lot more commercialized and like more and more people are going to get involved. Like I've definitely seen a change in the amount of people like that in the uptake of Halloween in like society in Australia specifically. Like a lot more people celebrate it now than say like 5 or even 10 years ago. Like it's crazy. Like it's picked up a lot in recent years, and I think it's just going to continue on that trajectory. And I don't know, like the sky is the limit. It's right in terms of how seriously people are going to take it. I think obviously in America it's massive, and it's almost like a religion for them around this time of year. The Halloween, there's like multiple like celebrity Halloween parties and events, and like I've actually also recently seen here in Melbourne a lot of cafes and restaurants doing like Halloween inspired like menus and Halloween drinks and Halloween desserts and like really fun stuff actually, like to get people coming in, taking photos and stuff. Like, which is really cool, like green drinks and like, I don't know, like creepy looking drinks and like creepy looking pancakes or like just like really creative things and people getting amongst it and like Halloween pancakes and Halloween cupcakes and cakes and just so many different Halloween inspired things. It's really cool.
That's cool. That's yeah, no, I think that,
I don't know if that's the case in Canberra.
I feel like maybe we're still getting there, but then again, like I probably, you know, I'm not necessarily frequenting maybe where those areas are, which is I'm guessing the city is where more of the trends sort of things are happening. I don't really head out to the city too much. So I wouldn't be surprised if those things are happening or being shown, I guess, more on social media. One thing that I actually personally do around this time is I watch a lot of scary movies. I
think most scary movies come out around this time of year.
Yeah, and they hold it off they actually hold off releasing movies until this time of the year in Australia. So for example, there was this one movie that was getting a lot of rage called Barbarian, and I kept trying to look for it because it had, do you know Justin Long by any chance? You know, that's not that into. You know? Yeah. So he's kind of known to be a little bit of a darling of quirky horror. So I feel like, you know, and a little bit of a known name as well. So, and also Alexander Skarsgård. Actually, wait, I don't want to get the wrong Skarsgård. There's 3 Skarsgård pluses. Oh, sorry, no, my bad. Bill Skarsgård. So the one who actually he was the clown in It.
Yep.
They actually casted him in this movie as well. So, two like big names for this movie. And I kept trying to like find this movie, like how can I watch this movie? Why isn't it released in Australia? It's getting so many good reviews. And it's because they literally were holding off until it would be closer to Halloween. So it only came out like I think 2 weeks ago, and I'm actually still a chicken, of course. So I went to the movies and I wore a hoodie.
Oh my god, why? Why'd you wear a hoodie?
So I could hide my eyes just in case.
Oh, that's so okay.
I was like a chicken.
I am brave of you to go to the movies though, still, despite the fact that you'd be a bit scared.
Yeah, because like I feel like there was that phase where I think a bit earlier, quite a few years ago, where we'd all kind of watched a few movies together, and I found them a bit more funny then, but then I sort of dropped off watching them, and so I almost had to reintegrate myself into like and sort of test the limits of my own fear. So like I was watching this one by myself, and there were other teens around me and stuff. Like obviously it wasn't school time, so they I think it was school holiday time. So like there was like teens yelling and stuff, and there's like me in my seat with the I was like watching the movie. But it was a really good movie. A lot of good cinematography. It was based around this interesting theme, which is, I don't know if it's like exactly in 2022 still this way, but in Detroit in America, there's a lot of abandoned neighborhoods.
Okay. Really?
Yeah, because of the failed auto industry, people literally just had to sort of up and leave their houses and move away to different opportunities, and these houses are just sitting there abandoned, and so it makes for a really creepy atmosphere, and a lot of...
And they're just abandoned still, like no one lives there?
Well, I'd have to double check whether it's still in 2022 this is happening, but like for example, the premise of the movie starts off with this woman. She's gone to Detroit for a interview, and so she books the house on Airbnb, and then... And this is also why they kind of recruited Bill Skarsgård, as he's known to be the clown in it. And so he's actually another person who had booked on a different company called HomeAway. So they both have this clashing booking, and he's already like sleeping in his house. And she's like, "What are you doing here?"
Yeah.
I booked this place, and he's like, "No, I booked this place." So then it's sort of that. The beginning of the movie starts off with them sort of like, can I trust you? Can I not? Kind of thing. And then because obviously it's just a creepy atmosphere with the abandoned houses, and then, I won't ruin it, but like basically what ends up happening is, so one day, so then they kind of become sort of friendly, and she, comes back from the job interview, and she like is looking around for the toilet paper because she ran out, and then she goes to the basement and she's trying to find the toilet paper, and she pulls on a string and a door opens.
Okay.
And so she's like, what the heck? And then because the door to the basement had shut behind her, and she's like, oh, I don't know when, Bill Skarsgård is coming back, so, because he's off doing his own thing. And she's like, I can't get back into the house. So then at first she's like, nope, not going down there, not at all. But then I guess curiosity gets the better of her, and there's like a mirror, so she angles the mirror so that the light shines down the passageway. And she actually walks down the passageway, and she finds like this abandoned room with a bed, a bucket, and a video camera. And then she's like, again, like, no, not happy. Comes back upstairs, and then that's when Bill Skarsgård, like, he's knocking on the front door going, like, why have you locked me out, kind of thing. And then, he, like, sort of saves her and, like, rushes in. And she's like, there's a room down there. Like, we need to leave. Like, something's very wrong here. We need to go. And he's like, look, you're not making sense. Let me go check it out. And she's like, no, don't leave me. Like, and then he's like, no, look, I know we just met each other, but you have to understand, you sound like a little crazy. I need to make sure what you're saying is real before we just leave, because they both had like stuff they were doing. So then he sort of disappeared. And then like that. Okay. But yeah, it's a very interesting movie and like very well done. And then Justin Long sort of comes along and he plays an interesting character as well. So I highly recommend it. As scary as I thought it was going to be, it actually isn't really. Like, it's not full of jump scares or anything like that.
Okay.
So it's definitely worth a watch. It's got a lot of good classic tropes and a good amount of humor as well. So I highly recommend the movie for sure.
Okay. I will. I don't really watch scary movies because I don't know. I just don't. Like, I listen with people. Or like, I don't know. I'm just I'm not a scaredy cat, but like, I just.
It's just not your preference.
Yeah, it's not my go-to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not really mine either, but I find like sometimes I'll be looking at what's sort of new, and a lot of the sort of good stuff is in those genres though. Like, a lot of the experimental and creative things are more in the horror genre, the thriller genre, because I guess just a lot of creative people tend to gravitate towards those areas of cinema. It's definitely not my own preference either. Like, I only watched because it was really good reviews.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I think it's like horror as a genre has probably developed so much now as well with like the advances in technology and the graphics and all this stuff. So if there's a time to watch horror, it's probably now. You know what I mean? There'll be like so I can't say this word. Cinematically, like just so real to watch, but at the same time that makes it even scary. Because before you could kind of tell, like, oh yeah, like that goblin looks so fake or something, but now it's just like, okay, that's really scary and that's really like disturbing.
In saying that though, what I would say, because I had actually watched another one called Smile a few weeks before that, which actually was more of a paranormal, and you do happen to see a computer generated ghost. I actually found from the experience that no, what I still get scared about is what I don't see. So when they're doing the jump scares, when they're doing the, peeking around the corners kind of things, those are the things that truly, what my brain imagines scares me more than what I see. Because by the time you actually saw that computer generated, monster, quote unquote, then that monster was a bit of a letdown, to be honest with you. It looked fake as hell. It was so bad. But all the jump scares and stuff up to that. So even though we are in like such a great time for high quality computer generated things, like it was definitely the more classic tropes of horror cinema that made things more scary, I think, in both movies. But like, I definitely still acknowledge your point though.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, look, I think scary movies are great if you're up for watching them.
Yeah.
If you're up for watching them, always with the disclaimer. Always come with a disclaimer.
Yeah, so maybe not next year for Halloween then for yourself.
I don't know. I feel like I change. Like you change the way you feel every single day. So next year, who knows? I might be like, yeah, bring it on.
Yeah. So that's cool. If there's any time to sort of watch.
Maybe it's like when I come see you next, we'll
we should.
That's a good idea.
That'll be good. Yeah. We'll start.
I'm happy to watch it with people and have it as a bonding experience.
Yeah. No, me watching it alone, I was like, yeah, I'm not really gonna do this to myself again. Just take the lights on. The songs played in this program were taken from freemusicarchive.org. We have reached the end of our program. We hope that you have enjoyed. We invite you to send your opinion to Bangla Radio Canberra to the following email, banglaradio@gmail.com. You are invited to follow Bangla Radio on Twitter and Facebook. If you join our Facebook or Twitter group, we will send you our weekly program description. Our programs are archived in banglaradio.org.au website and on our new Bangla Radio Canberra YouTube channel. If you want, you can also listen to our previous programs anytime on your mobile device using our Bangla Radio Canberra Listen app. This Listen app is now freely available from Apple App Store and Google Play Store. The next Bangla Radio program will be broadcasted on next Monday at 8 p.m. We welcome you to join us. Wherever you are, we hope that you stay well in peace and happiness. Good night.